Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly as part of our Roadmap to Recovery series. And I'm really smiling today because this is a very special webcast because I'm joined today by two guests. We've got Jackie Steadman from TravelTime World and Julia Loboué-Said, who is, of course, from Advantage Travel Partnership. And they are not joining us from the UK. They are in the Algarve. They flew out from Luton this morning, the first opportunity to go abroad, as international travel and leisure travel resumed. So let's find out about your experience. But first of all, Julia, do you want to just explain to us why it was so important for you to do this trip today?
Yeah, hi Lucy. It was important for me. It was no question. Today for me is such a symbolic day. It's a really key date for the industry. After being locked down for so many months, we start to see the industry restart, and it's restarting for survival, not restarting to unlock. We're restarting to survive. And having been involved in the last 12 months with the various travel coalitions and on the Global Travel Task Force meetings and being part of that initiative, I wanted to be one of the first people out to really experience what the process is like now, and actually to remind ourselves the importance of international travel, so from start to end what that entailed. So it was really important for me to be part of that, but more importantly, to be able to go with one of my members, obviously with a travel agent, given the importance of booking with travel agents right now, was without question an opportunity I just had to kind of take. So yeah, really pleased to have experienced it, and obviously we can talk you through what we did experience, but yeah, it's a bit warm, I have to say. I know it's raining back there, but it is a bit warm. So,
all right, don't rub it in for the rest of us stuck here. Well, you mentioned that it was important to do it with a travel agent, and I've been following your social posts, Julia, and right from the minute you knew you could go, you've been posting about how important it was that you had Jackie there to help you through the process. So Jackie, I don't know if you could I don't know how far back you had to go from your planning, but I know there's lots of paperwork and obviously the testing. So can you tell us what you had to arrange for yourself and for Julia?
Well, I think from my point of view, I wanted to, as a travel agent, I need to handhold and guide my clients through these new procedures. So again, from my point of view, I needed to come out here and experience it. So really, it was probably about 10, 12 days ago. We were sat in the office and thinking, how can we get consumer confidence back in there? And Portugal was obviously likely to be on the green list, and we said, okay, great, why don't I go out? Obviously I've got connections here, why don't I fly out on the first available flight, and let's sample it firsthand so that we can pass that information on. So obviously it was very touch and go. Portugal went on the green list, but unfortunately, as you all know, Portugal wasn't allowing us in because of the EU directive. So it was really 1 o'clock Friday that we got the thumbs up, we're on it, and then it was panic. Now, I think for clients, hopefully that won't be the case, because we will have time for them to go online, to order their PCR test, to calmly go through it, where for us it was a bit frenetic and a bit mad. So I'd already got arranged a local arrangement with our chemist next door, who did a walk-in service, 24-hour turnaround. So I had that as my bank. We didn't have the time to do the postal, but postal is more economical. So if you do the postal services from 45 to 60 to 80 pounds, but we didn't have that time to do that. So we got that done. Then we needed to do the passenger locator form. And then obviously wait for our result to come back. So that was really the initial process, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jackie's selling herself short now, because I have to say she's making it sound very straightforward, and
it's simple. Once we can do it
for a travel agent. Once you do it, it's straightforward, but actually it also depends when you're flying out. So one of the things that we were talking about, if you're selling short breaks to clients and you're having to get the PCR test done, you've absolutely got to make sure what is required in destination. Can the PCR test get done in time? Will the results come back in time? How do they deliver those results? So there's quite a lot that you've got to think about before you even think about booking, particularly short breaks and particularly at the last minute. And notwithstanding, making sure that you're clear of what the requirements are of returning back into the UK, and making sure that's done within the right specified time as well.
Yeah, because
so remind us how many tests you've had to get your PCR fit to fly one.
Yep.
You've obviously got to have one that you've got one that you've taken with you to test before returning.
We found a great new company who's doing a video. So like we're on now with you, you do the test in front of them. They send you the kit out. And I have to say they did a great service for me yesterday because they delivered it by courier to me. We brought those tests with us. We will have an allocated slot on video. You do the test in front of them and the result, and then you show them the result. And they send you then by email the certificate. And that's a lateral flow test.
Okay, and that then on the email, is that sufficient to show at Border Force? So they will then say that they will accept that. You haven't got to sign somewhere to print it out or anything like that.
No. I would recommend people printing out just in case anything goes wrong with your phone.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Just, you know,
belt and braces. Make sure you've got everything covered.
Yeah.
And then once you're back in the UK, you have another test to do. Have you had to get that one sort of pre-ordered, or what happens with that one?
You have to have that pre-ordered to show when you return back that you pre-ordered your day. So we're coming back from a green country, Portugal, so we've got to take a test within 2 days. So we've had to show that we will have to show that we've booked that test, and we've got that all confirmed. So I'm saying, I think for anyone looking to travel out, anyone looking to bring clients out, and I know there's a whole variety of different test companies out there right now. It's just been really, really clear what they're offering. The price is one thing, but also how are they going to get the test back guaranteed back to you on arrival, before you depart. That's really important.
So I know because your time frame was pretty tight, it was a little bit stressful. Would you say that actually the companies that you've used, it's been quite straightforward once you've got in the system?
I think so. I think, Jackie had an issue with her test arriving, and actually they were, we won't name them because we're not necessarily recommending them because we've got to wait to go through the whole end-to-end process first. But actually they couriered Jackie's yesterday. So literally within the day, because it hadn't been received on time, they actually managed to get that courier to Jackie. So I think it's all those things that we've got to be really careful about because it is quite interesting having experienced it now. For me, what was the most stressful has been the 48 hours before departing. Once we arrived in Luton, once we got onto the plane, once we arrived in Faro, and I have to say Faro Airport was just incredible. The welcome, they make you feel that they really want you to be there, and really safe as well. Incredibly warm welcome from Faro. And I think once you've done that, even by the time we got on the plane, actually you'd forgotten about it all. So I think it's just really making sure that pre-departure point, which is again why I keep stressing the importance of booking through a travel agent, that pre-departure element is the most stressful. It really is. Obviously, I don't know what return's going to be like. So
no, I know we'll probably talk to you again once you're back. So just before we move on from the testing, then Jackie, in total, how much will it have cost you to, in addition to your flight and stuff, just to get your test?
The testing process, worst case scenario is £100 PCR, a 19-hour £100 for a PCR here if you need to go to the drive-in. Again, we would research the resort to make sure that the user's drive-in PCR if you can't do the video link. So that's £200, and then a day 2 one, again £100. But Advantage has negotiated a deal with one of the suppliers, and that would save you another £80 would come off that.
Yeah, it's still not good enough.
No.
To be honest, it's still not good enough. Jackie was talking to passengers on the flight and just trying to find out how they book and what testing. And the reality is, if the government are really, if their motivation is around genomic sequencing and making sure that we can catch these variants, we absolutely need to make sure that the government are doing all they can to bring those prices down. We know VAT is still included, so I pay £200 for my test, and that's with a deal. So £40 of that is VAT. Why is that right? So there is a long way to go from a consumer perspective to make sure we can not create a system whereby only those that can afford to travel. Your class system, it's just not good enough, really. So a lot of work to be done there.
Okay, well, and we understand that you've done this. It is a lot of money, and lots of people would afford it. But you've done this for research purposes, so that's it. So it's important to say that. Let's then talk about the experience. So you've got, I know you mentioned briefly there about Faro Airport, but talk us through what happened when you got to Luton. I know it was early in the morning, so I imagine it wasn't, packed. But what was the feeling at Luton, and the welcome and the?
I think, you know, we got to the airport and actually it wasn't busy. So, you know, we sailed through, we stopped, we had a coffee, you know, Prep was the only place that's open. So, but we got a coffee. And actually before that, going through security was really disappointing, I have to be honest, because there were quite a lot of flights departing. There were 3 security belts open. That was it, 3 security belts out of 20, 25.
Yeah.
And the staff there, and actually we again, because of the research we tried to do, we were speaking to the staff, and you know, they've got no choice, you know, they're working, they've not brought back enough staff, you know, the airport. So it's just really disappointing. I've got to be honest, really disappointed, because for me today is a really symbolic day for all of us in the sector, and to not really put your best foot forward and actually, you know, put some balloons out, a bit of fanfare, you know, just make people, like Faro have made us feel welcome, make people feel special. Everyone's anxious, everyone's traveling in different times. So I was
what was the contrast? What was the difference then at Faro? They were just did they put balloons out, or what was the kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just such a warm welcome. They had banners up, welcome back. EasyJet Holidays had banners up saying welcome to Faro. There was press were there.
Yeah,
there was no press at Luton.
No, but
I saw you got given a gift, didn't you? By some.
We got a gift. We got some masks and some hand sanitizer, and how to keep yourself safe on the Algarve. Yeah, it was really.
Yeah, I mean, a couple walked out before me, out of passport control, and they said, "God, that was really easy." And I kid you not, from coming down the escalators from the plane, going through passport control, I think I was there for 90 seconds.
Yeah.
So every gate was open, every single gate open. And actually this couple, you can tell that nobody was looking forward to going through security, because you thought, through border control, because you thought, oh, all the news and everything, you know, even in resorts. But actually we sailed through. So
we're pleasantly surprised at that.
Very prepared, staff everywhere, guiding you, smiling, and it's not just the smiles. I think it's just that feeling that we all, you know, quite apprehensive. You know, people, consumers and customers, as we were talking to them, they're all very apprehensive about travelling today. So the fact that, you know, Faro have really gone out of their way to make people feel safe, but also very
welcome. Difference there, Julie. What do you think it is? I mean, I guess they need us. Tourism is so vital to the Algarve. So I guess that's whereas what's the incentive, you know, at Luton then, because you're leaving the country. You know, why do you think there's been that differential?
I think there's a couple of things. I think culturally, I think there's a European culture which is slightly different to us in the UK. And I do think they think about it very different. I think there is a real dependency of international tourists, you know, in the Algarve, particularly the Brits. But Luton Airport is an airport, it needs passengers, and we have a choice. Yeah, we have a choice. So I think we probably have looked at it slightly differently, and I say we, you know, because I don't want to single them out, but I do think we have to take a look at how we approach customer services at our border. You know, when people are coming in or coming out, it's a representation of us as a business, but also as a country. And say today was just disappointing. There was no need for it. They could have put more staff on, guide people through. Early in the morning, you've got kids, up, you know, crying, and you know, so I think I'm not sure. I don't know. I will pick it up with Luton directly, and if they're watching this, I will be contacting them, because I think it's really important they understand the experience as somebody in the industry.
Yeah, well, we've got one of our reporters flying out of Gatwick, so it'd be interesting to hear what his experience was at Gatwick, so we can compare. Jackie, what was it like actually on the flight? I know it's not a really long flight, but were you able to eat? Did you able to take your mask off?
Absolutely. They had the trolleys going. I mean, I obviously did fly a lot last year as well, but the in-flight experience is exactly as you expected it to be. Masks to be worn while you're on the flight, apart from when you're obviously eating. They had a full trolley service available. I don't think they had hot food, but they had the full trolley service. They had the duty-free gifts available. The staff were delighted to be back working again. They've all just come off.
Can you say which airline you flew with?
EasyJet, flew with EasyJet.
Yeah. And and again, the welcome for EasyJet Holidays here. You know, the staff are great. And they're just pleased to have people back on their aircraft and be back off furlough, to be honest. We took some great photographs with the captain, and good experience all around.
Absolutely. And when that door opened and you were able to go down onto the tarmac, or what was that like, having not been able to travel? Julia, well, both of you're people that travel normally a lot, and you've obviously not had that experience for 14 months or so. So what was that like when you actually touched down and you were able to just go out into a new country?
It's like your first Greek holidays with your girlfriends, when you get off the tarmac, you walk down and it's hot and you go, wow, you start taking the stripping all the woolies off. Yeah, I mean, I've already taken off my hoodies and things now, but yeah, it's great feeling. We all want to feel the warmth of the sun on our backs. We want to feel the sand between our toes. We want to see those blue skies. And to be honest, it doesn't cost a lot of money to do that. We drove into town, into the village today, and we walked to look along the boardwalk. We didn't spend any money, but we were happy. And you can imagine arriving here with your kids, and you've got a nice little villa or a townhouse or an apartment, and it's got a swimming pool. It's great. They're all of a sudden, your cares have gone away. You're on holiday. The sun is shining. The kids are paddling in the pool, and you're having a great time. And none of that, you can't replace that feeling or that experience.
Right, you're making me, and I'm sure anyone watching this, very jealous. So you said you went into town, or into, I don't know what exactly where you are, but what is there a big welcome, in the villages and the towns? Are they sort of keen to have tourists back?
Yeah, we did. We actually did a Q&A on Saturday on our YouTube page, and we interviewed some of the local restaurant owners here, and they are desperate. Britain represents 70% of their market in this village, and they are desperate for tourism. As we drove through, you can see the shops, the restaurants, they all rely. They lost last year. They only had a very short season last year, and the villa owners and the hoteliers, they all want the Brits back, because the British, actually, believe it or not, they are big spenders. I think they call the Europeans pavement shufflers, who just walk pavement shufflers. They walk up and down, but don't spend any money. But the Brits, they go in the bars.
You two this afternoon, you've got to get your purse out.
No, we did actually sit down and had a salad, But yeah, so the Brits are very, very important.
Okay. All right. So you're there, Julia, for tomorrow, and then back on Wednesday. Yeah. So tomorrow obviously is going to be slightly interrupted because you've got to do this video testing appointment. But what are your plans? And are you going to be conveying these, any of this back to your members, or how are you going to be sort of spreading the word?
Absolutely. So so I've already had a lot of questions back from members about what they want to find out. So we've been feeding those back, and we pulled together already lots of FAQs around the testing process, because actually we've learned so much. And again, 48 hours later, we've learned so much about the nuances, because a lot of nuances that don't quite work. So we just want to make sure that we've got it really clear for the members, and can bring product in that will help the members moving forward as well. Tomorrow I'm going to do some site inspections with them.
Hotel inspections.
She's taking me around some hotels, but actually, the members are really keen to understand, what's the experience like in the hotel. Some of them want to know what the restaurant experience is like. There's a couple of different hotels we're going to go and see. So really, just to be able to get a feel of what that will feel like if they're sending customers here. So we've got that tomorrow. We've got some different
golf club and a tennis club as well, to have a look at what the sporting activities, and some of the boat trips as well, just to go and have a look at how they do it, and
it sounds really tough, Jackie.
That's what fun trips are all about.
You've got to do it. It's absolutely we're counting on you. All right, well, we're probably coming to a close, but just finally then, what would be your message then to agents who might be a little bit nervous about all the different sort of requirements? They might have clients that are asking them questions that they're perhaps not quite sure how to answer. And I know this is only for Portugal. Hopefully we're going to get more destinations on the green list, and it'll be extended. But what would be your message to agents, around selling international travel now?
I think, from my point of view, I think it's really, really important to understand the providers you're using, exactly what they're providing, being really clear what it is you need. There will be different nuances, depends on when your customer's booking, where they're looking to go, the timing, etc., where they need a test dropped off to. So being really, really clear about that. And actually, if like Jackie's, I went to Jackie's pharmacy on Friday afternoon to get my PCR test done, because I knew it'd be reliable. I didn't want to worry about anything else. And back to that travel agent, if you can find a local pharmacy even that's doing the PCR testing, just to take a bit of that pressure away from your customer, I think anything like that would be really useful. So I think, yeah, follow, obviously, check the rules because they're changing all the time. If you're part of a consortia, make sure that you're looking at all the information that they're providing you with. As I say, from our point of view, having experienced it now, this will form really part of our toolkit that we've already provided members with.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackie, finally from you, I mean, your clients, are they desperate to get away? Are they anxious? Is there a real mix in your sort of database?
Yeah, it is a bit of a mixed bag, but there's a huge amount of pent-up demand there of our regular clients. And interestingly enough, it is our silver clients that silver traveller who is desperate to travel. I've got my little ladies who want to get on their river cruises and their saga holidays, and this market, one of them said to me, I don't know, this might be my last summer. Yeah, I'm 85 years of age. I don't know how long I've got left. I'm not going to sit here, masked up and trapped in my house. I need to travel. I need to experience. While I'm active and able to do it. We've got a lot of bookings in for July and August that we are very confident that are going to go. So yes, there is a lot of pent-up demand there. And people are saying,
and are they mostly wanting to be double vaccinated before they travel, or I suppose, or some of them just?
Most of them already are. I mean, most of them are already double vaccinated, and we must test today whether the NHS app is able to do this barcode yet.
And can I ask about your vaccination situation? Are you both double vaccinated? You're double. I'm not being rude. I'm asking about your age. It's just interesting, isn't it? Because some people do feel they want to have both before they travel. Some people, I've only had one. I would be prepared to travel. So, when you say you're waiting for the app, so you haven't got it on your app yet.
It's on my app, but I can't download the barcode yet. My vaccines are on my app already.
Right.
No, but apparently today it was supposed to be going live, but I haven't checked it yet. The barcode that you can then use for if a country wants proof.
Yeah.
Double vaccine, but I haven't. I say we've hit the ground running really.
Yeah. So I have to say, Lucy, just really quickly, I think once you're through security, and I know we're talking about leisure, and there's obviously many different reasons why people travel, whether that's business or friends and family. Once you're through security, once you get through that point, which is always a bit of a hassle anyhow, even pre-this, I have to say, there isn't a feeling. You don't think about COVID. I know that sounds a bit daft, but you almost park that. You've got your masks on, you're feeling safe. We've all kind of taken responsibility in our actions now to make sure we're mitigating the risk as much as we can, and to getting on that plane, feeling safe, and coming out at the other end, and that continues. So I think as soon as we start seeing consumers and travellers experiencing travel for whatever reason they're travelling, we'll all feel a lot more confident in the process, and I think that's really important. So I mean, I'd urge any travel industry individuals to really get out and experience it as quickly as they can, because I think you'll see it with a really different perspective.
And one of the interesting facts on board the plane was that everybody on that plane has had a negative
test.
Yeah. So
they're really reassuring.
Itself is a comfort.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're right. Getting people traveling will give confidence, but you doing what you've done today has been fantastic. Actually, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you both and to hear you've had such a, well, by and large, a really positive experience. So have a good day, one day that you're there with all your visits and things. But I hope you manage to enjoy yourself, and you've got your sleep, your arms out in the sun. I'm jealous. So have a wonderful time, and will you please tell us how it was on your way back when you come back?
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Lucy. Bye.
Bye.